All right, we are officially live here on the broadcast for MRL Radioactive, episode number 6. Make sure the microphone's on. Phoenix, you got me?
Good evening, Mystic.
How are you today, sir?
I'm okay. Since we had no Daytona 500, the best racing action was tonight, right?
It was, really don't know where to start. We'll let a few people join us here in the stream. You guys in the stream, let us know when you are here. Good to see everyone in the stream. It's been a few minutes since we've seen you guys. We just finished our 2024 season opener for the World of Outlaws, and that was a lot of fun tonight. And I know I didn't compete in every race, but it was a ton of fun. And we're going to take you through it here in just a moment. We got a lot to talk about this week. A lot.
Yeah. 3 NASCAR races and all the World of Outlaws action that happened tonight.
Got a lot on our plate, to say the least. And man, oh man, it's But nonetheless, let's get you caught up to date. Tonight, we kicked off our 2024 World of Outlaws campaign at Volusia Speedway Park for the Sunshine Nationals. Some of you guys may not recognize that we also host dirt races. We host a little bit of everything, if you will, not just NASCAR. But tonight was our 2024 season, and it got underway in a very, very fun way. We had a total of, I believe, 12 drivers that registered in all 5 classes. Those 5 classes being the Super Late Models, the 410 Sprint Cars, the UMP Modifieds, the all-new Outlaw Midgets, which we did not compete in last year. They just got added just a few months ago, so they're new class, and the Street Stocks. Now, we run custom setups in 3 out of the 5 classes. We don't run custom setups in the Midgets or the Street Stocks. It was like that last year with the Street Stocks, and we decided to keep it that way, and a lot of people seem to like it. So we had a good crowd on hand. I know everybody didn't show up. We had some people that couldn't make it, but it was a barn burner. But everybody drew. They drew for their heat race starting position if they registered before the deadline. Sorry, I'm stuttering. That would set up 2 heat races. The heat races were cool, calm, and collective, as you could imagine. And then we got into feature racing just short after 9 o'clock Eastern Time. And the Street Stocks would start off the night with 20 laps, the UMP Modifieds 24, the 410 Sprint Cars 30, the Midgets with 18, and the Super Late Models were the headliner event tonight with 40 laps. And all 5 events were really their own event. We saw some events like the Street Stock, the first event of the night, come down to the wire. And the Super Late Model, yes, it was the main course, if you will, but we saw that race kind of the winner dominating that one. So if I can find all of my papers here, that would be awesome. Here we go. The Street Stocks, we had 11 drivers take the green flag in that one. And 2 drivers really set the pace early on and really just controlled the race. It was Jack and Gaming Legend. Those drivers took off very from the get-go, if you will, and they just dominated the race. And it looked like it was going to be Jack Ballsy's to lose, and they kept getting higher and higher on the racetrack to get that momentum, and it looked like it was going to be impossible to pass on the bottom side. But it came down to whoever would make a mistake, and it was Jack Ballsy who would make that mistake, losing the race lead to Gaming Legend late in the going. And Gaming Legend would get around him. Jack could not get back to him at the end. Gaming Legend would win the Street Stock season opener, and a very emotional win for him. We do have him on the podcast in the party with us here in just a moment. We're going to bring him up, but he would actually double up with a win in the UMP Modifieds. Just a race after, the UMP Modifieds would be on deck for 24 laps, and he would hold off a hard-charging Jay Wood and Jack Ballsy once again to double up. Gaming Legend, he mentioned before we even got rolling for the heat races tonight, earlier tonight, that he was more pumped up in a different way than he was for the Daytona 500 in the NASCAR Cup Series a few weeks ago, and it definitely showed inside the race car. He started off the night 2 for 2. So two very early wins in the season, and he was a happy guy exiting the race car at the end of that UMP modified race. We have him on the podcast here right now. Gaming Legend, you got us?
Yes, sir.
Gaming Legend, you definitely had a night. You won 2 out of the 5 races tonight. Finished solid in all the races tonight. Had a definite car that could win all 5 races. Talk about what did it mean for you to make your dirt debut in Mystic Racing League, and what does dirt racing mean to you, to your family? It means a little bit more, and you showed that tonight. We could definitely tell. What does it mean to you and your family as far as your dirt racing tradition?
Means everything. I used to race cars myself here where I'm from, and my grandpa raced, my brothers raced, my dad's raced, so we always went to the local dirt tracks here where I live or close by. So yeah, it's been in the blood, and it's when dirt season comes around, you can normally find me there doing something. So yeah.
So to win the first 2 races to start the season, that's pretty special. That's kind of a statement. You know, hey, I'm going to be the guy you guys are going to have to chase. I know the 410 sprint car race didn't go your way, but still a solid night that you guys can build on. So what's your expectations and goals really for the dirt season? I know you put a lot of focus into the NASCAR season and have had a hot start in the NASCAR season in those 3 series, but now you got a little dirt added to it. What's your expectations of World of Outlaws?
I think we can go do what we did tonight on a weekly basis. We set our standards pretty high for ourselves in the NASCAR side and the World of Outlaws side. Probably more the World of Outlaws side than the NASCAR side. So we'll just see how the year plays out and see what we can do.
Phoenix, do you have any questions for him?
Well, you said racing's in your blood, and it's pretty obvious. You definitely have an instinct for when to move in for the kill. So talk us through the last couple laps of your win. What was the biggest challenging part, to get that victory, and tell us why it was so special.
The last few laps, we had backed off from Jack, I don't know, probably 5-6 car lengths. Knowing that in our head, thinking he wasn't going to mess up because he hadn't messed up the whole race. We were in different heat races, I think. But, I mean, you win a heat race, I mean, obviously you're pretty quick against any of these guys. But we just noticed that he wasn't messing up, but we did notice that he was arcing a little high in 3 and 4, and that's where we were catching him. So I had to move to get around him if he doesn't mess up, because I could tell I was way faster than him in 3 and 4. I'm not really sure why. Maybe just a slider I was running, or might have been different than his. It didn't really mean anything to win the UMPs, other than now I can say I got 2 MRL wins instead of 1. It meant more to win the first one off the trailer, the first one of the night, being a street stock, because for the simple reason it looks like a pure stock, but they go by different names all in the United States. But that's what my grandpa had raced, and that's the number that I got on my car.
So that number is a tribute to your grandpa who raced?
Yep, he raced actually pure stock, so that's why it meant more to win that one than and I wanted that one more than I wanted any of the four tonight, and it was nice enough to play in our hands to get it right off
Won
the
the
trailer
first
and
one of the season. That's pretty special.
Yep,
get
definitely.
the first one of the season, and he passed away late last year, so that's why we run that number, and that's kind of why we also, other than the black, that's why we got the red and yellow on our car, because
Gotcha.
the game paint scheme doesn't give. I mean, it's pretty basic, but it doesn't give us the paint scheme to exactly match his, which was just red and yellow with a 4J on the side with no sponsors or anything. But as basic as it is, it doesn't give us that scheme in the game. So we did what we could with what the game gave us.
Well, that's a fitting tribute with a win and an awesome, legacy that you're carrying on there. Very cool.
Thank you.
So, Gaming Legend, obviously, it's a really, to Phoenix's point, that's a really cool tribute. And like I said, they always say somebody could top you by winning the next one, but they definitely can't say they won the first one. And that's what you'll have for the 2024 season. You always will remember that first win, and you got a little extra motivation riding with you this year with your grandpa there. That's super cool. We wish you the best of luck, and congratulations on your first 2 wins this season coming tonight.
Thank you.
Good job.
That's Gaming Legend, winner of tonight's Street Stock and UMP Modified feature events at Volusia for World of Outlaws season openers. So super cool to see that, and just a little extra motivation for him to do so. Moving forward, our third race of the night was the 410 Sprint Car main event, and that was dominated by Gavinator Reckon. Gavinator Reckon, a name you probably haven't heard a lot. That is a rookie to Mystic Racing League. He has never raced with us before. He started that event in the 3rd spot and quickly made a 3-wide pass to lead lap number 1 and never looked back. He dominated that race from flag to flag, and that wouldn't be the only flag-to-flag win we saw tonight. So Gavinator definitely put it on him, and he was very happy man in victory lane. So very cool to see Gavin get his first career win and his first start. So it was a lot of first career wins tonight. Then we went to the midgets. The midgets was a barn burner of a race. Splash took the lead early. He led the majority of the event. It was going to be his first career win. It's good to see Splash back in the saddle in Mystic Racing League. While he is not a rookie, technically he is a rookie because he hasn't ran enough races. He has ran in previous seasons. This is not his first event. He is classified as a rookie, and it would have been his first trip to victory lane. Jack Ballsy is a new driver to the scene late last year and starting to make a name for himself. He took that lead away late with a brave late race move to steal that one in the closing laps and punch his name as a winner in Mystic Racing League. His first career, not only Mystic Racing League win, but league win. And he said in his post-race interview that one it meant so much to him, and he hopes that's the first of many. And we honestly believe the way he drove tonight, and not in just that race, but all races, it's going to be the first of many. You saw Jack had a realistic shot to win the Street Stock race and beat Gaming Legend. Finished second in that one, finished third in another race, and won the midget race. We have Jack with us tonight. Jack, you have a copy?
Yep, I'm here.
So Jack, we were just bragging on you, and Jack, you had a very solid night. You might have actually had the highest average finish between all drivers tonight. Jack, walk us through your night, and just describe what. After that, describe that win, that late race move to win that midget race, and how much did that win mean to you?
Well, we're kind of disappointed after the street stock race. Kind of messed up at the end. Gave a good competitor a chance to win, and he took it. Well-deserved win for the 4J. After that, we went to the UMPs. Kind of struggled a little bit. Started in the back, but found a way to get up front. The midgets, though, was a surprise win. I wanted the 410 win, but fell short there. But for the midgets, just felt like we had a good chance coming into 3 and 4. I couldn't run 3 and 4 in the street stocks, but I was faster in 3 and 4 in the midgets. So took a took a risk. He slid up high, slid underneath, and got the win. It was a good race.
You mentioned in your post-race interview after the midget race, this was your first league win, if I heard it correct. What does that mean to you? You've tried, I don't know your other league racing history or how much you race in other leagues, but you joined Mystic Racing League late last year. You ran not many dirt races, but a lot of NASCAR races. How much did you have to adapt and learn and practice and all that mixed together to get to where you are now? You've improved so much so quick. What's the competition level compared to what you've done, if anything, and how much have you had to change as a driver?
Actually, I am more comfortable on the dirt track than I am on NASCAR. Pitting has always been a weakness for me in NASCAR, so dirt track I feel comfortable. Put in a lot of hours on this game, just building setups. The 410s are my favorite. Late models I'm not very good in, but I was surprisingly fast tonight. I like anything open wheels, so I've always grown up on the dirt tracks, watching World of Outlaws, late models, anything and anywhere we could see, we stopped and watched them. And then it was always Indianapolis 500 because we were from Indiana, so going up and see some of the dirt drivers race the Indy 500 was kind of cool. So it's always kind of been a dream. So that's it was a good win. I'll cherish it for a while.
Well, that's super cool, Jack. We're so proud of you. Phoenix, you got anything for Jack?
So you obviously it sounds like you're planning on running the full season. What are your after the first night? I know it's out there, but what do you see yourself in the dirt series, a different series? Which one do you think is going to be the one you're going to have the most success in? You think after tonight?
Of the 5 series that we run tonight.
Yeah, the ones you participate in. Do you participate in all of them?
Yeah, I ran all of them.
Oh, there you go. He's a dirt guy.
Yeah, I like the dirt. I actually feel strongest in the street stocks. I know it's a slider, but I like running those. But the custom setups, probably the 410s. Once we get to some other tracks, the smaller, tighter track racing, I like that. Where you can really just get up next to somebody and run with them and then make a late pass. I like doing that. So. Or somebody trying to put a slider on them and you cross them over. I enjoy that kind of racing.
Well,
so
all right.
Yeah,
Look to see you up front this season then.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss every other weekend, so I gotta be strong no matter where I finish.
You mentioned that. Well, it certainly looks like you have the the ability to do it, and wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Sorry, I was scarfing down a taco.
Oh, you wanted me to take longer? Do you need more
No,
time?
you're fine. You're fine. I finished it just in time. I just ordered Taco Bell. I ate one. I got 4 to go and a Mexican pizza. That's the only thing that's open is late.
These things so we can coordinate better.
It's all right. It's good.
Yeah, but
good.
From what I saw, there was some good hard racing tonight, and it was, for the most part, it's very clean. There were some incidents and some things like in the last race there, but you guys just going all out. It was very exciting to watch.
A lot of fun. Our final race tonight was the Super Late Models, the 40 lap main event. On the pole was the number 84 of Jay Wood, and that's probably the last thing you heard, because Jay Wood dominated that race, and it was not close. Jay Wood absolutely had a rocket ship, and he led from lap 1. And granted, I'll defend the rest of the field. They raced hard for the first few laps, and that allowed the 84 Jay Wood to gain some room. But really, when they got clean and green and spread out from each other, they still couldn't run down the 84 of Jay Wood. He had an absolute rocket ship, and he said in his post-race interview he practiced and he was ready. And while he doesn't know, kind of to Jack's point, he didn't know what his future held as far as a full-time schedule or a part-time schedule. He's still unsure. Jay Wood is always ready to compete. He does not show up for second place. He always shows up to win. And,
but it wasn't all smooth sailing, though.
Yes, the late race coming to the white flag, he did tangle with the lap car, but he had such a big lead, it did not matter, and he was able to.
He got turned around the opposite way, had to spin it around and keep going, and somehow he managed to maintain a lead.
But
that was quite something to see.
Well, we saw a lot of races last year in the World of Outlaws League with mainly in our late models. It happened a lot. The drivers would take off, but they would burn their stuff up. We've seen that in NASCAR a lot. But Jay Wood tonight, we're like, all right, he's going to go hard early on. Is he going to burn it up? But he kept going and going and going, and respectively to Gaming Legend, who rode second, I think, for the entire race as well. The gap just didn't shrink. And we're thinking, all right, Gaming Legend may reel him in late in the race, and it just never happened. So,
well, he did, but because of the tangle with the lap car, which you know, we were Kime. I was watching with Kime Time, and Kime and I were like, "Oh my God, it's going to be a race! It's going to be a race!" And somehow he managed to get it going quickly and get ahead. It was something.
So our 5 winners tonight, just a reminder: Gaming Legend, winner of the Street Stocks and the UMP Modifieds. Gavinator Reckon, winner of the 410 Sprint Cars. Jack Balls, we just talked to him a second ago. He won the Midget Race. And Jay Wood, winner of the Super Late Models. So, it was a fun night. And myself, I know I only ran 2 races, but still, it was a whole lot of fun. I feel like everyone else enjoyed themselves. But like I said, World of Outlaws season opener is officially in the books. I know point standings and race results have not been posted yet because we didn't have enough time before the podcast tonight. So we're going to get those posted here soon. And just take you a quick rundown as far as the schedule goes. Next week, the World of Outlaws gang will be off to Five Forks Speedway for the Sooner State Showdown. The Super Late Models, UMP Modifieds, Midgets, and Street Stocks will all be in action next week. 2 weeks from now, the Willow Creek Clash at Willow Creek Raceway, the 410 Sprint Car, Super Late Models, and UMP Modifieds all there. And then 3 weeks from now, the Sprint Car Winter Nationals at Lernerville Raceway, the 410s, Super Late Models, and Street Stock. So like I said, all 5 classes will not race every single week. Obviously tonight, because it was a season opener, start off with a bang. So if you want more information, you can look at our website and keep up to date. Check on the click the notification bell so you don't miss a stream. But that wasn't all the racing we saw this week, Phoenix. We had a ton of fun at California this week. Auto Club Speedways, where our NASCAR drivers landed for all 3 series.
Yeah, with all the time I spent closer to the sun, I got a sunburn.
I like that. Well, Phoenix didn't have a good week. Myself, I had to work for it, but I
had a good week. What? Well, we were very fast. Let's put it that way. We were very fast.
It was an interesting week. The week started off with the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. They returned to action at Auto Club on Tuesday. They didn't race Phoenix a week ago, so this was their second race of the season. The 270-mile event hosted 14 drivers on Tuesday night, and it was a race, to say the least. Not a lot of cautions involved, but everybody was under a blanket for the majority of the race, which is what we expected.
Well, one thing that categorized all 3 races, which was a little made it a lot more intense racing, is about every race, 8 to 12 cars or trucks were under a blanket. So we were all close together, running 2 wide and 3 wide, just trying to get position, trying to, take a spot. And it was super intense. Some of the most intense racing that we've had at Auto Club in a while. Because usually we get kind of strung out a little bit, and then it's more of a chess match kind of thing. But no, not last week. All 3 of them were like that, and they just get from the truck, went to Xfinity, got faster, then went to the Cup and got even faster. And
you saw nobody get strung out this week.
Oh yeah, we had a few.
I'm talking about more at the front of the field.
Draft. Yeah, but at the front of the field, I think the smallest pack we had was 6 at one point in each of the races. But then we just bunch them back up again, and it was a dogfight.
But we had a late race caution in the truck race. I believe, what was that late race caution? What, 30 laps to go, 20, high 20s?
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't remember the exact number. But that setup where not everybody could, well, excuse me, nobody could make it to the end on just one stop. So what am I trying to say? Excuse me. Nobody could make it to the end on no stops. There, I got it right. So everybody had to pit one more time. The question is, when would you pit? Because tires are really important at Auto Club. Some people would elect to pit as soon as the window opened, with around 20 to go. But some people waited. We saw drivers wait into the single digits. So,
yes,
you know, I believe everybody but one vehicle took tires, and that ended up being the race-winning move.
Yep. We had one adventurous soul. I forget exactly when he pitted. I think it was under 10 laps to go. Realized that he had enough tires to make it, but you know, without tires, it slows you down a lot. But the time he saved on pit road with such a short pit stop with single digits and no tires, he was able to hold the rest of us off decisively and take the win. And that was
Story Square. Story Square played it perfectly. You got to give it to him. Story Square, who started on the front row in second, ended up there at the end of the night one spot better. He was the only driver who rolled the dice, which you don't see at a track like Auto Club because it fits into a track like Atlanta or even a track like Phoenix, where a late race pit stop, you see everybody take tires. You don't even see a driver take two tires, really, because that's kind of the same deal. We haven't seen that a lot in our races in the past. But Story Square rolled the dice, and it worked out as he ended up winning the race by just under 3 seconds over Kime and Mystic to round out the podium.
Yeah. We were talking about it, and yeah, if you have like half a run to go, like 10 laps or more, that's probably not the best strategy. But he ran it all the way down. He was in the single digits. I believe he pitted with about 6 or 7 to go.
That's exactly what he just said.
He was able to make it work, yeah.
He's in the stream. So, Davey Allison ended up fourth. Adam Dabbs was fifth. Gaming Legend, who started on the pole for that Truck Series event, was sixth. Chad was seventh. HT3, Trey was 8th. Grim was 9th. Rick 9 rounded out the top 10. Phoenix was 11th. Curdy was 12th. And that's all the drivers that finished the race. Wildman was 13th, 54 laps down. Parky Plunger was 14th, 107 laps down. Hard charger in that race was Mystic, myself, from 12th to 3rd. The total race time for the Truck Series was 1 hour, 35 minutes, 16.650 seconds. Like I said, that's the longest truck race of the season at 270 miles. So, but I think it was a pretty decent race.
Well, you would.
I know you had a hiccup.
No.
You could thank Con for that.
It was a good race, but yeah, I got together at the end, knocked into the wall, no caution, so stuff like that happens. And Kime is reminding us that he also got into trouble on the last lap, which caused him to lose some spots there. So, you know, that's okay.
And then we fast forward to Thursday's Xfinity race, which, in my honest opinion, was probably the wildest entire race, not finish, but race out of the three. Just because, I mean, we expected it, because even with the draft setting being on normal, because Trucks and Cup both run high draft at Auto Club, I think the Xfinity race was a little bit wilder, because the cars are looser. Even if you run low draft, the cars they're naturally loose at a track like Auto Club or Michigan.
Those cars are simulating less downforce. So with less downforce means you get more tire wear, and they're faster than the trucks. In some ways they're faster than the Cup cars with so much less downforce. They're like bullets. So they tend to slide around a little bit more and get a little bit more out of shape as the tires wear. And I think from the truck race, might have emboldened, some of us with all that, the little bit slower speeds and being able to maneuver and do stuff and being under a blanket, for most of the race. And then we get into the Xfinity race and it's, yeah, you can add to that, Mystic.
I mean, the race itself was basically the same thing. Everyone was in the pack. People were still trying to make those passes outside, inside, which is nothing wrong with that. It's just the cars through the corner, off the corner, couldn't take that aggressive. The air was not agreeing, as we saw more slip-ups throughout the race. I know stage 2 was a little bit rocky.
3 wide off, too.
Yeah, stage 2 was a little rocky, but I mean the stage 3 on got better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until.
But we had another late caution in that race that took out the strategy, if I remember correctly. Am I remembering that correct?
Oh yes, you remember it correctly because you and I were playing that. And we didn't have to stop, if I remember correctly.
That is correct. That was that race. Okay.
Yeah, we were 2 of the cars that didn't have to stop. I had thought at the time there was somebody else, but it didn't work that way. So as we had a caution, I want to say about 20 to go, and we went back green. I think about 17 to go.
14,
right? 14. Yeah. Okay, so it was 17 and 14. Okay, yeah, that was a heartbreaker.
That was, it kind of just threw, it hurt a lot of people in a way. I know it hurt you, hurt us. But
it changed the whole race.
It changed the race. It turned into a sprint race. So some drivers, if they weren't already loose, they were loose now because a lot of people would make adjustments under that caution. But we did not have a green-white checkered in that race, I don't believe. It just turned into a sprint to the finish. But everybody was on top of everybody. We saw a separation in the pack coming to the white flag. Not a big separation, but coming to the white flag. Viper. We talk about Viper. We've been talking about him a lot lately. He's had an awesome start to the season. He did not run Daytona because he didn't make the race. Finished 3rd at Phoenix, and he led a bunch on Thursday and was leading with 1 lap to go. And it's kind of a habit because Auto Club runs like Daytona or Talladega. The driver leading with 1 to go usually doesn't make it back as a leader with 0 to go. So it's kind of a theme whether you just don't make it back first or don't make it back at all, rather. But Adam, Viper, and Stag Slayer were in their own pack themselves, and then there was a 5, 6, 7 car lengths back to the next pack. But they were still in their draft. But they just weren't all together. So the white flag comes out. They are racing hard. I'm talking just all over the place. Viper led into turn 1. And then off of turn 2, they're trading spots. I think Adam took the lead. Stag led at one point. I think they all 3 led on the final lap at some point. And I was almost going to cover my eyes because I knew something was going to happen. It was a good race. And coming off of turn 4... they were basically, you could say, 3 wide. The 8 car moved up and just made slight contact with Viper, who comes down, makes slight contact with Adam, and then the 8 and the 11, Stag and Viper, go up into the outside wall, and it wiped both of those cars out. Somehow, Adam Dabbs survives and wins a crazy, thrilling finish. You gotta feel bad for Stag Slayer and Viper because both of them have never won a Mystic Racing League race. Stag Slayer is a rookie. He's only been here for just a couple of weeks. I know Viper ran last year. He's not a rookie, but still has never won. And nothing malicious on that part. It was just racing.
Yep. It was great that they put themselves up there in a position to win. And yeah, they came up a couple spots short, but that is awesome because a track like Auto Club now, like Daytona or Talladega, if you're not up front, you don't really have much of a chance. But to go, get all the way up there and just fall a couple of spots short, because stuff happens, coming to the line in the last lap, as we've seen, So that was pretty awesome for both of them.
They both had an awesome night, but just a heartbreaker of a finish. Staxlayer talked about it. We got him in the post-race interview because he did finish sixth, and he said he literally said in his post-race interview, it's just racing. I mean, you'll have that happen, but he was disappointed because he didn't have a legitimate shot to race to the line. But listen, it's just racing. If you go back and watch the replay, I mean, yes, he did start it because he made the first move, but it was nothing malicious at all. It was just one wrong move going that fast starts it. It's just what we see on super speedways. One wrong move and everybody's around. But they both did cross the line, and the positive side of things, they both didn't lose that many spots. Adam Dabbs, we mentioned he survived and won. Mystic finished second. I crossed the line with a lap to go, and I was about fifth or sixth. I just went low and kind of slightly closed my eyes and hoped I didn't hit anything, and it worked. Mystic finished second. Viper still finished third. I think he was backwards, but he finished third. I think he finished backwards, but he was third.
Well, I got into trouble on the last lap again with wrecked with no caution, and when I came around off four, the track was blocked into one after everybody crossed the line. The car's spinning and wrecking still.
Gaming Legend was fourth. Wade Gaming was fifth. Staxlayer still finished sixth. I think he actually
That's a good finish.
Was in the grass around, so he still finished sixth. I mean, decent day, but I know he would have rather finished in the top three, more so a win. Seventh was
in
Kime.
the grass too.
Kime was seventh, one of those drivers in the grass. Davey Allison was eighth. Davey had a good run that day. He led some laps. Ninth was Chad. 10th was Story Square after starting from the pole. I know he didn't have the finish he wanted to have. Shady Acres was 11th. Grim was 12th. 13th was Track Bars. 14th was Phoenix. I know you had a terrible day on Thursday. 15th was One Fast Bean. Those were all the drivers that finished the race. Boxer was 16th, 80 laps down. 17th was F1 Addict, 128 laps down. He had a pedal malfunction that sidelined him for the remainder of the race. I believe the same thing that Wade has been experiencing, the way he described it.
I think my Thursday was better, more like Friday, more like the Cup race, in that I actually got some stage points. So that kind of lessened the blow of having a bad overall finish, kind of thing. But yeah.
And
double-digit finish.
18th was Parky Plunger. Parky Plunger did not start. He qualified but did not start.
Yeah.
So.
But that was exciting, and going back, I had to go back and watch everybody's feeds that streamed just to figure out what happened. And of course, yours was right in the middle of it all.
I was just like, please don't hit me, please don't hit me, please don't hit me. It's just one of them things where you just got to pray. I did forget to go over the Truck Series standings a while ago after the race results. I'll go ahead and do that now. The Truck Series standings. After Auto Club, Kime Time has inherited the points lead by 5 points over Mystic and Gaming Legend. Those two are tied for second. I know Mystic had a big week, finishing third. Story Square is fourth, down by 10. Adam Dabbs is fifth, down by 13. Davey Allison is sixth, down by 22. Grimm seventh. Chad is 8th, Phoenix is 9th, and Ricky LaFleur is 10th. Rick Niner is 11th, HT3 is 12th, Wade Gaming 13th, Prime 14th, Curdy 15th, Wildman 16th, tied with NJ Cummins for 16th, Parky Plunger 18th, One Fast Bean 19th. Gaming Legend leads the Rookie of the Year standings by 17 points over Davey Allison. Rick Niner is down by 37. That's your top three in the Rookie of the Year standings. As far as manufacturer standings go, Chevrolet leads by 2. Yeah, 2. Excuse me. 2 over Toyota. Ford is down by 5. There we go. I'll get it right here in a minute. Check. Now, Xfinity Series standings. We'll go over those. S4G Mystic leads the way after 3 events. Thank you. By 5 over Gaming Legend.
Yeah, good job.
Story Square is 3rd, down by 14. Davey Allison is 4th. Adam Dabs is 5th. Once again, Kind Time is 6th. Shady Acres is 7th. Viper is 8th. Wade Gaming is 9th. F1 Addict is 10th. Grim 11th. Phoenix 12th. Chad 13th. One Fast Bean 14th. Stagslayer 15th. Track Bars 16th. Ricky LaFleur 17th. Boxer 18th. Wildman 19th. Epic Carnage 20th. Rick Niner 21st. Curdy 22nd. Parky Plunger 23rd. And that's all.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, definitely worse points.
Manufacturer standings for Xfinity. Chevrolet leads by 11. Ford by 17. So get you caught up on the standings. So Cup Series race, Phoenix. Where do I start? 400 miles. That race was, my opinion, the most competitive of them all.
Well, we held it straighter for the most part. You know, there was a lot of elbows out. Again, we're under a pack on 2 and 3 wide for most of the race. I think we had a couple more cautions in the stages. I think we only had one caution in each stage in the Xfinity race, the first 2 stages, but I seem to remember we had a few more, 1 or 2 more in the Cup race. But yeah, we were all under a blanket. We were all super fast. Oftentimes you get a run, you got no place to go. You know, gee, should I make it 5 wide? No, I don't think so. And then, you know, sometimes we did, and it didn't turn out so well. But for the most part, everybody drove. There were some amazing saves in this race. You must have seen a couple of them. I can't, no particular one comes to mind, but there were some amazing saves, and we kept it going straight, and it kind of played out like the other 2 races, from what I remember.
Yes, it did. It was racing throughout the pack all night long. Adam seemed like he was just a slight favorite because he did win the first 2 stages and stayed up front. He really didn't yo-yo and drop back and forth as others did throughout those first 2 stages. So shout out to Adam. He had a really good car. But as the race went on, we did have a few cautions in that second stage, back-to-back cautions, if you will, that a lot of drivers made adjustments on. And
early on, if I remember, in both the stages instead of late, like we had in Xfinity.
Yes. So drivers were making adjustments, seeing what they could get better on, and we were just trying to get into a rhythm at that point. And it got better as the start of the third stage went green. But you were in the mix. What did you see from your point of view?
Well, I thought I was racing Adam. I finished second to Adam in the first 2 stages, and I was looking at the number of laps and how much gas I had, and I was like, well, okay, I'm going to make 3 stops here. And then I realized that later on, as the race turned out, that and Adam said it, I was the only one that was thinking like that. So, but then we had a couple of cautions. We had another late caution, if I remember.
It was a fuel mileage race, if you will, because some people were going to save, some people didn't think you could save. So you had drivers like yourself who were trying to cut at that 1 stop. Same with Adam and Story Square and Chad, who were really pushing the pace and trying to stretch that gap. That already admitted they were going to stop in extra time. So drivers were all over the place on strategies, and boom, caution comes out and wipes it all out.
Yep, and when did that caution come out? 20-something to go?
It was around the same time that caution came out in the Xfinity race, around 20 to go.
Yeah, so now we can all make it from there, so it turned it into... Now, I was going to say, it's the 22 Cup car, and it's the first time most of us have been in competition like this at Auto Club in the 22 car, so gas mileage, tire wear, on a long run like this is a little, there's still some questions, to be answered. So, there were two basic strategies: either gamble, like I did, but I really didn't have to gamble. Basically, just go for 3 stops, or just go flat out, and try to just force the pace and make everybody make the leader dictate, how the race was going to go. And then again, a late race caution changed everything.
And they say cautions breed cautions, and that they did, because after that we had, I think, 4 or 5 in a row.
Oh, one too many for me.
But the caution that brought it out, it was Tasic that got around, and I was the one who just couldn't go anywhere. So I had to start at the rear, but then we had another one just a few laps later inside. I believe it was 7 to go.
Yep.
And we had some drivers pit, some drivers stay out, so...
And then...
I was one of those ones that stayed out, and I got put as the race leader.
Yeah.
So we went green with 7 to go, and we'd have another caution.
Yeah, that was the one too many for me. I was running third in line going into turn 3, and it was a combination, just a racing thing, where Story was in front of me, got into the car in front of him as we were going through those bad bumps, getting to the turn 3 transition, and I bounced off the wall, and a couple of guys ran into me, and I ended up restarting on this last, I think that was the last one, right? Yeah, back in 16. So Mystic, you were in the lead at that point, weren't you?
Well, no, that was not the last one. We still had about 2 more left after that, because that caution set up a 3-lap shootout. Okay. And remember, we still had 3 overtime attempts.
Okay, what happened to me happened on the last caution, because after that we went through and we got to... Yeah, but we were all up there. We were all in top 5, top 3, top 4, and just a bad deal once again at the end of the race.
I was the leader on old tires, probably the oldest tires in the field, because I think all the drivers that stayed out with me.
So you pitted on the first of these cautions?
The one that set up the first overtime attempt is the one I pitted on.
Oh, okay, so you pitted again. Okay, go ahead.
And since all of you guys pitted like 2 cautions ago, now I'm on the freshest tires, so I switched on everybody.
And where'd you restart?
16th.
Ho!
And so I'm 16th on a green-white checkered. There's a crash on the backstretch. Okay? Caution comes out again. This is the second overtime attempt. I restart 9th. Okay? This is when we bring it home.
Where we switched spots. I went to the back, and he's in 9th.
Okay. Yeah. And Phoenix, take us home here.
Me?
Yeah, take us home.
So I watched this, and it was pretty impressive. So Mystic restarts 9th, which gets you on the inside, which I think at this point of the race was the place to be. So I think he had a little bit of an advantage from starting on the outside. So it's a green-white checker. He's got 2 laps to pick up as many positions as he can. I'm kind of thinking, Mystic, you weren't thinking about winning the race at this point.
I never thought I had a long shot to win the race. I'm like, all right, top 5 is the goal here.
Yeah. So he goes down into turn 1. I think you stayed on the bottom.
I stayed on the bottom the whole time.
Yeah, the whole time, stayed on the bottom, and I think that was a great thing to do, and I would have done the same thing in his position, because it's the end of the race. It's a green-white checker. You got a lot of guys on old tires, so thinking they're probably going to overdrive a little bit, right? Was that part that crossed your mind?
Not really, but I just went with it.
Yeah. So talk us through it. The last 2 laps, you entered turn 1 on the bottom. You're 9th place. How'd you progress?
Well, I knew basically you could full throttle turn number 1 on new tires. So, well, basically you could do it every restart. But still, the speed, I'd be faster still on new tires. So that's what I did. Mm-hmm. And I forgot who I restarted behind, but I got under them and picked off 2 drivers already. And on the backstretch, since I already had speed built up, I just kept going and digging, and I got blocked on the backstretch, so I didn't get to pass that many cars through 3 and 4. But I got such a huge run off of turn number 4. I don't know where it came from. I don't know if it was because I had the fresh tires or what, but I got such a huge run that I had to be going like 10 miles per hour faster than the guys in front of me. And coming to the line, I was like 6th, 5th maybe. I think I was 6th.
All on the inside.
but they was 3 wide, and I threw it. I went down almost in the grass. Like I literally,
Yeah.
I think my left sides may have been in the grass. But
At this point, I'm coming off turn 4, and he's already past the start-finish line. I didn't know it was him at first, but I see this car on the apron. I was like, what's that idiot doing? And it was Mystic. And tell us what happened in turn 1 to turn 1.
I'm laughing.
That's what I thought.
But they were 3 wide at the start finish line, and I threw it, and they thought, oh my God, we're about to wreck, race is gonna be over. Wade is the leader. He throws a block on me, perfect block, and I hit him. But going into turn 1, I push Wade up because I'm already clear of the guys that were 3 wide. I'm in second at this point.
Yeah,
I push
you
Wade
bumped
up.
him out in front. Yeah.
I push Wade up out of the way, and I'm leading off of turn number 2 down the backstretch. And I know somebody's going to get my draft, so I block the inside. The 21's got my draft, which is one fast bean. And I know he's going to pop me in the corner, which that's expected. You're going for the win. I mean, you're going to move somebody up Martinsville Auto Club, wherever. It's typical. And the outside line gets a run on me down the backstretch. I think Adam is leading the outside line. But going into turn 3, the 21 hits me pretty good, but I couldn't turn the car that way I want to, so I got into Adam because of that. No wreck or anything, just some drivers washed up. But since I had the gift of new tires, I was able to drive off the corner better than him and the rest of the field, and I held him off and won the race.
Yeah, he gave you a real hard shot into turn 3.
But
it looks like he hit him so hard he couldn't hold the corner himself. And
but I'm actually
but
blessed.
Mystic came down.
I'm actually blessed. We had those extra cautions so I could pit for an extra set of tires because that's what won me the race. I would have never got to the front if I hadn't had that extra grip.
Tires.
That's crazy. I never thought I was going to mow through the field like that, but it
wasn't just the tires. You knew where to put the car. You used your instincts, and you came out on top. That was an awesome thing to watch.
But we had 3 great races this week. I mean, it was interesting to watch.
Yep. Very exciting. Very fast.
So the Cup finish, we'll take you through the Cup finish in the Auto Club 400. We ended up running 208 laps. Mystic was your winner. One Fast Bean did hold on to finish second. Story Square was third. Wade Gaming was fourth. Eddie was fifth. How about your boy Eddie?
Yeah, good finish there.
Parky Plunger was sixth. Good finish for him as well.
Another good finish, yeah.
King Bear was seventh. Adam Dabbs was eighth. Curdy was ninth. And Grim was 10th.
Another solid finish for Curdy, too.
Yeah, that's good. Bowhunter was 11th. Chad was 12th. Davey Allison was 13th. Phoenix, 14th again. Consistent. And Kine was 15th. Those were the drivers that finished. Tasgasm, 16th, 2 laps down. DNF and NASCAR Extreme, 17th, 185 laps down.
I can tell you in that race, the last 4 drivers, Chad, Davey, me, and Kime, yeah, we were not happy. We were running so much better, and all of us, just circumstance and stuff, and tough racing, and extra cautions and stuff. But there's a few people a couple of guys I'd like to mention, if that's okay. Call out this week. Chad had a tremendous car, had a tremendous runs all week, led a lot in the races during the week, and just didn't get the finishes that he wanted all week, kind of thing. But don't be discouraged, because he's coming. Chad will be there. Davey Allison too, a little bit. He had some better finishes, but this race was the same thing. And Kime, what could we say about Kime there?
Well, I think despite Kime's performance this week, I think, in my opinion, and I think you've seen it with the power ranking so far, Kime and Adam, respectfully, are off to the 2 best starts out of any driver. I'd put Story Square with them, still, but Kime and Adam, I think, are the 2 right now. I'm not saying they're 2 best, okay? I'm not saying anybody's the best, because I really don't have a best. I don't think anybody has proven themselves to be better than the pack yet. I think it's just so competitive. Because usually
we're all running the same speeds.
In past years, you could say, okay, Wide Open's just a little bit better, or Story's just a little bit better. You don't have that right now.
No.
So,
no.
but as far as consistency, despite his bad week, I still think Kime and Adam are the two strongest, and you know what you're going to get so far. Yes, it's only been 3 weeks, but those drivers are doing a great job.
And if you look at it, and the reason why I mentioned Kime, because Kime wasn't he the points leader coming in, the early points leader?
Yes, he was.
So now he had a bad race, but he was racing Adam, right? Because Adam was up there too, and Adam had a better race than Kime, but he only finished 8th. So even though the points are jumbled up, and Chad too was up in the points, I was up in the point. We all, it's like we all had a bad race, and Story had a good race, right? Mystic had a good race. So the points would get jumbled, right, going into the standings, but we're all still pretty much right there, aren't we?
Yes, the point standings after Auto Club for the Cup cars. Adam Dabs, we mentioned him. He is really the only driver, I think, in everything. Every race, every week, who has yet to have a true bad race, which is good. He's been the most consistent, and he leads by 17 points over Story Square, 18 points over Mystic, heading into Las Vegas this week. Kime, we mentioned, just bad luck haunted him at California, and he's ready to get to Las Vegas. He drops from the points lead to 4th. Phoenix, I know you're wondering how, but you moved up after the Cup race.
Well, I said the points all jumbled up, so yeah, I was a little surprised to see
Phoenix
that.
Phoenix is 5th, Chad is 6th, Wade Gaming 7th, One Fast being 8th, Davey Allison 9th, Curdy 10th, Bo Hunter 11th, Grim 12th, King Bear 13th, Jack Ballsy 14th, Parky Plunger 15th, Eddie moved up to 16th, Gaming Legend 17th, Shady Acres 18th, HT3 19th, NASCAR Extreme 20th, Ricky LaFleur 21st, Easy E 22nd, Daytona 23rd, Tascasm 24th, Ziggy 25th, Beastly Pac-Man 26th, The Ritter 27th, Parley 28th, Sagslayer 29th, and Track Bars 30th. Chevrolet leads the manufacturer standings by 3 over Toyota and 4 points over Ford. So we have yet to have a multi-time winner in a same series. I know Kime and Story Square have won 2 this season, but not in the same series. So it's been very competitive to add on to that point. Go ahead.
Look at the standings compared to Xfinity and Truck. You see you have the how many back. So first you have first place, and you got second is 17 back. Third is 18 back. Fourth is 21 back. Fifth is 25 back. Sixth is 26 back. Seventh is 32 back. And then that's the biggest jump from 7th to 8th with 7 points. Right, between the spots. So one race and everything can change.
You are correct.
That is super
That's what I'm saying. It's so crazy. There's not a clear favorite right now, and that's a good thing. But then again, that's a bad thing if you have just one mistake. We talked about it on the last week's podcast. Kime, if you look at the race, Kime had a better Cup race than Davey Allison, but the one green flag pit stop where he went one lap too far and let it sputter for that little quarter of a lap, that's what cost him that race. Last year or years past, you could do that and get away and still win the race. Now, with as fast as everyone is and as many cars have a shot to win, you can't afford that mistake. It used to be 5 cars could win, 7 cars could win, 9 cars could win. Now you got over 3/4 of the field that can win the race.
Yeah. And we estimated that was 4 seconds that he lost. So 4 seconds could be the difference between winning and finishing like out of the top 10.
And that's on a 1 mile track.
Yep, 2 mile.
No, 1 mile. I was at Phoenix.
Oh, okay, at Phoenix. Yes, it's the same thing. It's that competitive all around.
So it's just like I said. I mean, we can't try to make it any more black and white for you guys that are listening in. It's just it is more competitive than it's ever been, and it's hard. It is very hard.
Yes,
it is very hard to win a race.
But we're not going to get any relief this week, are we, Mystic?
No, and we are off to Las Vegas this week for all 3 series. And
that's a special track for MRL, isn't it? Yes,
our past in Mystic Racing League at Las Vegas, we haven't had a good track record just because the races haven't played into our favor, just because back before we ever limited the field to 16 drivers, I know we did increase it this year in Xfinity and Cup. Back when we limited the field to 16 drivers, we have the most drivers we've ever started in a truck race came here back in 2020. We started 26 here, and that night was just a joy. As I say that with intense sarcasm. The 2021 races, when we did the twin events here in the spring, those two events had both over 15 cautions in both of them. 2022 was better when we ran the single event, but still had over 9 cautions in that event. Last year was better. Last year was probably the smoothest race ever, but I don't think we had many cautions last year. It was actually better. But but like I said, that's only one race, so it could quickly change.
We're hoping to keep that trend going, though.
And now, granted, most of the races I'm talking about are for the Cup races. Truck and Xfinity have been pretty good in the past. Now, the truck race that I mentioned was just that one truck race. The truck and Xfinity races have been pretty good in the past. Cup is really what has haunted us here at Las Vegas. We've had, I don't want to really ruin it for everyone to scare everyone away. We've had more rough races at Las Vegas in the Cup Series than smooth ones. But last year, like I said, last year we had no issues here at Las Vegas.
Yeah. It's just, whenever I see Las Vegas on the schedule, I'm like, well, I wonder. It is Sin City, and gambling is always on the menu when you go to Las Vegas, so it's like a crapshoot, what we're going to get, when we get there. It's just like the mentality kind of thing. I always hope it's going to be smooth, right? But I don't know. We've been surprised before.
Now, this will be our first true taste of the season, considering the season majority, it's consisted of intermediate tracks. This will be our first intermediate track of the season. The Truck Series, this will be our first ever intermediate race with 1 times wear. The Xfinity Series, it's like clockwork, 2 times wear at Las Vegas, same thing we've been doing for years. But the Cup Series, it'll be 3 times wear, 50%. Now, you're probably asking why. Well, we've mentioned this before. We'll remind you, the 100% races, 2 times wear. The 50% races, 3 times wear. We haven't had a 50% race yet, so that's why you haven't seen us do 3 times wear. Daytona 500 was different. The super speedways are 1 times wear. But Auto Club and Phoenix were both 100%, so that's why they were 2 times wear. This Friday night's Cup race is 50%. It's only 134 laps. It's almost like a sprint race for the Cup guys. So it will be 3 times wear. Phoenix, at a track like Las Vegas, how will that affect the Cup cars being 3 times wear?
Well, I actually haven't gotten in a Cup car at Vegas yet, but knowing, the differences between, say, the gas mileage and the tire wear and stuff, which always the Cup car is more, and we have so much more downforce, I'm looking that the Cup race should race like a ×2 truck race in its overall strategy and feel. Now it's going to be totally different because the Cup cars are faster and so on and so forth, but that's what I'm looking at. We're going to have some tire wear. We're going to have some strategy. Because we're going to have to multiple pit stops, I believe. But I haven't really, gone through it yet and, analyzed it. But that's just on, just first look kind of thing.
We'll look at these guys and let's just go through the top 10 of each series standings and give me your guy that could surprise you here with your first intermediate track approaching this week that hasn't won yet, that could break out. Let's exclude us, just for the sake of it. So not me and fine. You. You got Kime, who hasn't won a truck race. Gaming legend. I know you picked him last week to win. To be a first-time winner here very soon. He was close, but couldn't get it done. Story Square has not won a truck race. Or excuse me, yes he has. I stand corrected. Davey Allison as well. Grim, Chad, those guys. Which one stands out that possibly could win that truck race on Tuesday?
You're talking about somebody who hasn't won yet in the trucks this season?
This year.
Okay. Well, Kime's always a threat.
Did Kime win the truck race here last year?
I'm I know he won a truck race here. I'm not sure if it was last year or the year before. I think Story won last year and Kime won the year before, something like that. But I'm going to go with Chris again. We happened to have a race here in the trucks in the off season, and Chris was very, very strong. Led a lot of laps, but Story was also strong, and Kime was also strong. And Adam was also strong. So you have a lot of guys, that can win, coming Tuesday. So yeah, but I'll go with Chris, because Chris is eager to win. When you're hungry, you know what that can do, right?
I do know. Yep. So a part two of that question: truck races one times wear. We've never had a one times wear race on an intermediate track in the trucks. What do you think?
Yep.
How do you think it's going to be different from the traditional two times wear truck races? And what do you think it's going to take to win on Tuesday night?
Well, you don't have to pick